And today I choose to be happy. I choose to be happy. I'm so thankful to God that I'm feeling better. I'm so thankful that I live to see another day. I'm so thankful for so many things. But I'm gonna close this for a little bit because I'm driving and I don't have something to hold the phone and we don't want a situation on the road. Yeah. But welcome to sip 3. Sip. I hope you guys don't get drunk by the 17th, you know, because boy, my cup, I'm really my cup. But for sip 3, I want to talk because it's funny. I never fully understood what I was planning how to speak about sip 3 until literally a while ago, and I said let me just jump on and just get it out of the way. So a little backstory. My grandfather died and my grandmother was a principal, so I want to big up Miss Gladys Dixon. She was a principal for Boundbrook Basic School. So her husband is now resting. We're gonna have the send-off at one point, but I'm in the realm of school and it's only fitting to speak about school and what would have happened as it relates to PangyDrew and schooling. So I went to UTech, the University of Technology. I studied at UTech and then I was a staff there as well. So I was there in 2 capacities, as a student and as a staff member. When I was there as a staff, there is a daycare on location. So that was the very first space PangyDrew would have been in, because I would have dropped him off at the daycare. If anybody knows UTech, it's closer towards the back of the, is it back? I don't even know how to describe it. But anyways, it's not on the front part or the part where you have classes and whatnot. But anyways, a little daycare is there. I got him in. He got his 3-month shot. I buy his little uniform and he was at the daycare. However, after, you know, you have to graduate from the daycare when you become old enough to do certain things, and it was at 18 months. Well, let me not say 18 months because it was actually 22 months, because he would have started Forquare Basic School when he was 22 months, the January, and then he would have turned 2 years the March. Anyway, so big up what's it called, Cynthia Shako Early Childhood Center at UTech. Big up on yourself, auntie, all the aunties, let me just say all the aunties, big up themselves. And then so Forquare Basic School, which is located at Cassia Park, is the second space he would have gone to as it relates to formal education. Now it's a church school and it's basic school, so it's not gazetted, it's not government, so you can partially say it's a private church school then, if that makes sense, because even Boundbrook Basic is a private a private school for ages 3 to 6 years old. Because if you're in the field, private is different from public, and infant is also different from basic, and then you have junior high, you have different categories. So I just want to clarify what it is. So when Pangy was at Forquare Basic School, and the reason why that school was chosen is because my other cousin in Kingston, daughter, was going to that school. So I was saying, okay, well, they have company. She, by the way, is 6 months older than PangyDrew, so as it relates to pick up or whatnot, some company would be there, because I would be all the way in Papine, and she lived close to the school. So big up my next cousin, because I will away, by the way. What was not expressed is why PangyDrew tenure ended at Forquare Basic School, and why I had to enroll him into Boundbrook Basic School, which is in Portland. So I've always been protected from certain information as it relates to Andrew Prince. He, by the way, shared the same birth date as my sister, so I'm familiar with my sister. So even when somebody would say like, oh, I was raised with my mother and my father, there's evidence, you know, like there's a term called presentism. So you are there physically, but you're not really imparting any values or any. So the body is there, but we're not sure if the father figure or what is expected as the role model was there. Anyways, let's get into it quickly because we're upon a serious timeline. So I've always been cushioned, as I said, for the time I was with my son's father, and then I never understood the full characteristics of the father-son dynamic and who was the father. The only thing I knew was that he shared the same birth date, as I said, with my sister, and I know my sister very well. So I remember specifically one evening, because what used to happen when PangyDrew finished school, we would support the teacher there by let the babies participate in aftercare, or if it is my cousin is unable to collect Drew, he would stay at school, and then when I leave, you bus it through the traffic and reach Cassia Park. Because if you're familiar with how Kingston set up, I live in from like point A to go to all the way point B. So he would do aftercare services, you know, you bless up the teacher them a little bit, and then I pick him up, and then I go home. That time we used to live off Maxfield. So little shortcut, and you know, but I remember this specific time I was running late, and I told the caregiver that I'm running late, so you know I don't have a problem to pay the extra and I can drop her home and the whole shebang. But then, so I would have expressed that to her, and I think because I had a function, something was going on with me and work, so it was expressed. So she's aware of what is, I am aware of what is, so we know we have a good rhythm, right? But I can remember when I finished what I was doing at work and I was going for Pangy, the phone kept ringing. The phone just ring, and I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? Because first of all, she understand that I was running late, so I don't understand why then she would be calling down my phone so much. So the phone I ring, and I'm like, no, this not look safe, and I'm nervous. Easy for us, nervous, anxious, all kind of us. So I finally answered, and she said to me, say, how far away am I? Because apparently there's a situation. Me no one understand why the situation, but then I hear like some loud talking in the back and a whole heap of expletives, and me I tell her say very good type of behavior, and I say, whoa, what's going on? And she's like, it is your son's grandfather on the school compound. I'm not going to say he was having an episode because I don't know him that way, but it was loud, it was boisterous, it was disgraceful. Anyways, I tell her, well, I in little traffic, but I'll be there shortly. What you can do is just try talk to him, tell him, say there are other babies there, because it's not only PangyDrew that was the only toddler. Please bear in mind, Forquare Basic School have babies 18 month olds to that makes sense, 18-month-old. I don't even know if that grammatically correct. Right now, I try to figure out what I go on the road and whatever. Anyways, so yeah, you can be there from 18 months to 6 years old. Then you transition to primary or prep school. So I hear the excitement in the background. I hear the teacher sounding worried, and then it's a frenzy because nobody don't know what to do. I remember me don't know him as this character. Anyways, so reach there now, and him did kind of calm down a little bit ish, and him a cuss, and I'm like, because I used to call him father, by the way, and I said, father, what's going on, like what is this? And him kind of switch a little bit for say him bad word bike now start, and him can't bad word with this, and so never kind of figure out what is going on. So apparently there was a situation with his bike because he was like a bearer. So he had a bike. I don't know if it punctured. I don't know if at the time it was the chain. Something was going on with the bike. So this was what he did. He went to the school and he was basically saying, this is the after when I spoke to the teacher to say what was going on. There's a problem with the bike. He lives all the way in Stony Hill, so I don't know if the bike not working, how would he have gotten to Stony Hill? I mean, I would think, you know, you try to get a taxi, put it in the back, figure out life, because that's not the school, nor that's not my problem. So the bike not working, he's spiraling, he's projecting on the school. But the conversation was, me nah make him see me youth, and I'm one grand pitney, and the mother this and the mother that. So that was why the teacher was calling me, because he spoke to me about the bike. But prior to me reaching there, it was a situation like putting me down and disrespecting me. So this happened one time. I spoke to him about the bike. I think eventually when I left, because me pick up my baby, I apologized to the other parents, and I'm always apologizing to the other parents, you know, because there was a safety concern. It's the first time seeing him in that element. So, and he was intoxicated a little bit. You could smell some spirits and whatnot, and I'm like, you can't do that, because there are other children here. You're not sure what is going on. You can't just come and project like that. If you're having a problem with me, you know where I live. On Saturdays, though, sometimes I'm usually busy. So you just call me and tell me when you want to see him. We don't have a problem with you seeing him. So I'm not sure why you would think we're having problems, because his sister Auntie Yvette, usually would make juice and he would drop them off. And as I said, I jump off a little bit. I did. I'm not sure if I'm back on, but I saw that I wasn't for a second. Somebody type and tell me if they're hearing me. Mic check 1 2. I haven't checked I drive in, so I can't look at what's going on in the chat. You hear me? Okay, good. So what was the last thing you heard me say? The terrain is a little bit tricky, so I'm not sure if it's gonna jump off again, but let's see. Anyway, so I was saying I had a conversation with the security, and we established that if the gentleman, which is PangyDrew's grandfather, is to return in that behavior, call me first and do not allow him to see his grandson. So we would have negotiated a control mechanism then, right? And not stopping him from seeing his grandson, but we can't afford to have certain type of behavior around other kids, because it's not my son alone that would have been going to the school. So that was that. I think he attempted to visit another time, and he was not allowed on the school compound, and he came to my apartment on the Saturday, and oh Lord, so we get episode 3 episode 4 so outer gate, can I say outer gate, I hear the commotion. And so where we lived is Maxfield, so you can say that's kind of in a one little area. I mean, like, why the people outside the Bay of Sun? It's Saturday morning until I hear my name, and my name was being called, and the cussing going and excitement. So of course my landlady got involved, my landlady and my landlord got involved, and there's no way you could have a situation like that and you apologize. So we did it at the school, we did it at the complex. I said, or maybe this is just my cue, because it's not working as it relates to what is happening here. So that was the final straw for us to say, you know what, let us just return to Portland. And that was why and how we left Kingston. I enrolled PangyDrew in my grandmother's school, which is Bournebrook Basic School, and we are back in Portland. So I have to put some context to what is. Nobody was trying to keep anybody from seeing anybody, but you can't have a continuous behavior and no solution. That's the first part. The second part is, I would have had my fair share of aggressive behavior towards me, not only from PangyDrew school at where I was living, and I also had an episode from Drew's father when I was working as HR. The gentleman came and created a scene on the showroom. So it's always a situation whereas you give enough grace, but you're always being disgraced, you know. So whenever you're in a little situation, you have to pivot and find back home. So yeah, we returned to Portland, and I'm saying, all right, at the end of the day, this is where we're from, this is where we're going back to. Let's just figure it out, you know. Half of the persons at Brownbrook Basic School, which we have a big up Brownbrook Basic School, I think most people don't even know that that school started on my grandmother's veranda, and then she get a little place through parish council, and the school was established, and all of us started school before we were even 2 years old. So PangyDrew just basically fit right in, and he graduated, and he was the top boy for the graduating class. And it's funny because even up to graduation, his grandfather was there, by the way, and I appreciated the fact that there were 2 gentlemen from my family that was there supporting PangyDrew, my grandfather and PangyDrew grandfather, and it was a very proud moment. Even though we had some unfavorable interactions with his grandfather, he was there to support him at the graduation ceremony. So you always have to look at the different complexions and say, boy, this could have been better, this could have been, you know, you can adjust, you can adapt, and it is what it is. You just have to know how to flex. Nobody asked the question why wasn't PangyDrew actual father wasn't at the graduation. So we try to push some things to make one look good, but you're not sharing the entire story or the entire reality. You kind of splicing it to make it have a particular complexion, but nobody just randomly get up and say, oh, they're gonna migrate or they're gonna relocate without a reason. I love living in Kingston. I love the fact that there was activities for PangyDrew to do on Saturdays, you know. So it's just one of those things. It is one of those things, my dear. And I know that PangyDrew is wearing his grandfather's name with honor and with dignity, and he is a whole different individual. Like he likes to say, even though he has his name, he is his own individual, making his own waves, doing his own thing, and I'm so very proud. But equally, he is also a Dixon because he does some things that the Dixons would do, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to say, I never liked the fact that it was expressed like, you know, the bitter baby mother, because we're going to use the title, the bitter baby mother, stay drinking hot Cersei tea daily to stay bitter. But some of the decisions that I would have made is not that I wanted to make them, but I was basically forced to make them, you know. It's one of those things. But PangyDrew is good. He's doing well in school. He is. And one of the things I keep saying to him, even if you're having a bad day at school, don't project on anybody, you know. Try and figure out how you can work it out, how you can figure out a solution. But don't because the in summary, the gentleman was having a challenge with his bike. You having a challenge with your bike it never did warrant you going to the school and behaving a particular way because of your personal problem. You have to learn how to internalize certain things, and I've seen a lot of people doing that too. You know, you're having a problem with your personal life and you're projecting. Most of the persons who comment not knowing me and keep saying some foolishness like, oh, you want back the man or the man left you. You just keep, it's like a stock record. You keep saying the same things and you don't know me. And we can clearly declare again that I'm not reversing on no main road. So one of the things I want to be the takeaway from this, if all of us are going through one way or the next, everybody I go through, there's no need for you to project what's going on with you personally on somebody publicly. Just kind of figure out how you have to compress some of the pressure, you know what I mean? Don't bleed on nobody. Don't do that. It's not nice. Right, wish for me they may go through, but see where we have to just go through, you know. Anyways, that's sip 4. I don't even know how me go, because sip 4 is our next sip 4 is our next sip, in a man. But when we get there, I can't look at the comments, guys, because I am driving, but I'm 2 minutes from my destination, and then I have to go fix up back my ear and look nice and thing. But I hope you guys have a good day, and I will check in on Friday night. I like Fridays. Brittany, you can just type if you're still hearing me, because me I drive, I'm gonna know if you still hear me. I don't have a clue if the thing is even recording, but I see the timing going down. Can somebody just please message and say, hey, I hear everything, I'm hearing you. Check out, please, so I can end it. Okay, perfect. You hear every single thing that I said? Tell me if you hear all of what I said, because if it's not done properly, I have to redo it one time, and I don't know when that time is, because so many things going on. But have a good day, guys. I'm driving other people in place, and also I have to act, you know. Love you. Cassie honey. Love you no plenty. Bye.